So here we have it, the neckband and the sleeve cuffs. So what I did to the neckband, I'm gonna do to the sleeve cuffs too. I'm just gonna turn them inside out with wrong sides together. So I have one cuff and the second one. All right, so the way to make sure that our neckband and our sleeve cuffs go into the neck hole and the sleeves correctly is by quartering both the edge of the neckband and the neck hole. And what does that mean? I'm going to first find my seam. It's right here. I put a little pin there to mark that. And this pin should not be inside. It should be outside. So there we go. Using this pin, this is going to be one of my 4 points. So this is point number 1. Now I'm gonna find point number 2, and this is going to be the middle of the back. This is gonna be the middle of the front. And I already have a pin there. So this is point number 2. Now I'm gonna bring points 1 and 2 together, middle of the back, middle of the front, so that I can mark the sides. So here is one side, and here is the other. So now I have 4 points equally distant from each other. So 1 back, 1 front, and the 2 sides. Side 1, it's kind of hard to see the pins with this fabric, and side 2. I'm gonna be doing the same thing with the sleeve cuffs. So now I'm gonna get my neck hole, and I am going to match the shoulder seams. That's going to give me a midpoint for the back, a midpoint for the front. So I'm gonna put a pin right here. Then I'm gonna put one right here. If this fabric were not so furry, I would just clip, make very, very small notches into the fabric, but I'm not gonna be able to see it. That's why I'm using pins. Now I'm gonna bring these 2 pins together. And I am going to mark my sides. One is right here. This fabric looks great, but it's hard to work with. If this is your first time sewing with knits, I would not recommend something like this. And then the other one is gonna go right here. And now I know exactly where my neckband is going to go when I start pinning it to my neck hole. So I went ahead and I matched all 4 notches on the neckband. And remember, I didn't really clip notches. I used pins just because of the nature of my fabric. So here I have it. So this is the back, this is the side, this is the front, this is the other side. And what I did here is I put a pin so that I can hold the serged seam in place. So when I'm sewing, it will go the direction that I want it to go. So I'm gonna take this to the sewing machine and I am going to sew very slowly because I have many layers of fabric. This is puffy, furry fabric. By nature, it wants to slide around. One thing that I could have done, I could have used my walking foot to make sure that the fabric was not going to be shifting around as I'm trying to sew. I didn't think it was necessary. It shifted a lot less than I thought that it would. So we'll see how this is going to go. I will be back once I have the neckband sewed to the neck hole, and then I'm gonna serge it too because this is going to be a visible seam.